Hey folks! I just made a how to play video for the game Dice Upon a Time. A quick and easy one, because the rules of the game are really easy. First of all, like in every board game, just place the board on the table. We have quest cards with the numbers of 2, 3 and 4. There are some magic item cards and story cards. Just separate, shuffle and place the decks next to the game board. Then place the 6 chapter cards. Choose a starting player. Now, this is my favorite part. Let's choose a character, because in this game you'll adventure as a Grimm character. We start from the town. Each player must draw 1 magic item card and 2 quest cards from the decks of their choice. The higher the value, the more complex are the quests. Place the quest cards face up, but the magic item cards are secret traps. The goal of the game is to collect as many adventure points in 6 chapters as you can. Okay, let's start the game already. Each player has 5 dice. At the beginning of every chapter, the players roll their dice. When it's your turn, first you must always place 1 die. Then the die effect activates. Then you can move your figure. If there is a location ability, then it activates. And finally you can complete quests. Then the next player goes. Once all the players' dice are on the game board, the chapter ends. We take back our dice and the next chapter starts. Easy. Let's see these 5 phases of a turn in more detail. Place 1 die. There are 3 general dice placement rules. Your die has to have at least the same or higher value indicated by the socket or the die on which you wish to place it. You can place a die on another die, but the dice tower may not consist of more than 3 dice. None of our dice are regular ones and some of them have special faces. Those count always as value 6. Second step. If there was a special die effect, it activates right after you put it down. Now let's move our characters. You can move your figure to an adjacent field, but only if you have activated the route by placing a die in its socket. Don't forget, you can always place your die anywhere you want, for example just to block another player's way. Step 4. If there is a special ability at the location, it activates when you arrive. For example, get an apple. And at the end of your turn, you can complete quests if the requirements are fulfilled. And that was 1 turn. A chapter ends when all the players have used all their dice. Now let's look at the most important locations on the board. We start from the town. But if you arrive on this field later in the game, you can draw 1 new quest card from any deck. The king is a nice source of new quests. You draw 3 quest cards, choose 1 of them, and put the rest back to the bottom of their decks. But how to get the resources for the quests? When you move to one of the resource fields, you can take an apple, a gold coin, or a loaf of bread. And at the ferry in the mystical forest, you can choose one of those 3. The supporting characters, the huntsman, the old woman, the woodsman and the soldier, you will normally visit to complete quests. But if you arrive at one of these guys, you must immediately draw and read out a story card from the deck. The 3 horses are teleport gates. If you move to one of the horse fields, you can just jump to another one. On the magic items field, you can draw a magic item card. I guess you're curious about the special dice. Here we go. We have 5 dice. 1 with normal values, a magic item die, a story card die, a token doubling die, and 1 with the banning face. If you want to pick up a token and you have placed the token doubling face, take 2 tokens instead of 1. If you use a magic item face, you can draw a magic item. If you place a story card face, you must draw a story card. The ban face is funny, because other players can override this die only with another ban die. An easy trap, eh? Are you trapped, or do you just have the worst hand ever? Don't worry, there are 4 spirit beasts in the 4 corners of the game board. On the rabbit and on the snake field, you can build towers. That means if another player places a die here, you can override it to win the gift of the spirit animal. The wolf can be activated only once per chapter, and the fox has 2 sockets for single dice. This means no towers on these 2 fields. So back to the rabbit. If you win this one, you get the starting player marker and a free movement token. You can use this token once to move without placing a die. If you win the snake at the end of the chapter, you get the snake die. Roll the snake die at the beginning of the next chapter, just like your other 5 dice. You can roll a token, but if you roll the snake, you lost the die. The wolf will be the worst one. If someone activates the wolf field by placing a die in that socket, every other player must also put a die there immediately. The fox is a sneaky trickster. If you place your die here, you don't have to roll this die at the beginning of the next chapter, but you can set it to any face you want. About the cards. Let's start with the beautiful character cards. Each character has a unique special ability. The quest cards are the key to victory. The higher the adventure points, the heavier job to do. You can have maximum 4 active quests. When you finish your quest, just flip the card to show that you did it and got the adventure points. Magic item cards can save your life. Or, well, kick your opponent's bottom. And finally the story cards. If it's green, you're lucky. Just read it out and take your prize. If it's red, you will lose something, or your opponents will get something. There are also lucky and unlucky side quests among the story cards. The end, the final scoring. Just count the adventure points you got from the main and side quests, and the player who has collected the most adventure points wins. Is it a tie? Possible. If it's a tie, the winner is who can kill more flies with one blow.